Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Draft Day Sports Pro Basketball 2024. If you remember last time, we got to Season 2, the beginning of Season 2. Here in this video, I guess we got to the last video, but this is a new video. We're going to start with Season 2. And before we jump into this, I'm going to go ahead one more time, just a quick view. Here is what the team looks like. To begin Season 2, we've got our new rookie, George Cullen, at point guard. Paul Lopez, who was on the team last season as backup. Also got Marquis Herbert. At shooting guard, we got Hooper, who was on last year's team. Aaron Fortson, returning, 3.5 star, one of our best players. Terrell Wright. At small forward, we got Nick Bryant, played on last year's team. Newly acquired Matt Ramsey. Also Tyron Hargrove. At power forward, we have Antoine Asani returning, LeVar Hill returning, newly acquired Tywan Barnes. And at center, we've got Steve Bennett, Colin Richardson, and Carlos McCleary all returning. I think it looks like a decent team, not a great team. Still, 3.5 stars is the best player. We have Bennett and Fortson are still our best players, just like last year. I think some of our supporting cast is stronger. Our point guard should be better. So I don't know how this season will go. I'm still kind of thinking we might not make the playoffs for the second season. Maybe toward the middle of the season, unload Richardson because I don't think I can re-sign him, and he's in his last year, and he's a potential 4-star player, as you can see. So I think he's a valuable piece that some teams who need a big man would gladly give up some good assets for, or some good players for. So we'll see how that works out. I'll make sure of that real quick, actually. Let me get to contracts and just make sure I can't tie up Richardson any more than this season. And no, I click on him and it says no available action. So his contract must not allow for that. So we're going to probably trade Richardson. Maybe around the halfway point or the trade deadline. Before we continue, I want to review on our strategy. We're going to start with a balanced man-to-man approach and see how that works and adjust accordingly if we're doing terrible. I'm hoping that we don't adjust and it becomes worse, which is always possible, but we'll see how a balanced man-to-man strategy works. So we played during the second half of last season, and it didn't work out great. But our team also wasn't great, so we'll see how this team fares playing this way. Also, just review real quick on I clicked the wrong thing. Sorry. On the strategy or the philosophies. I bumped up rebounding and defensive intensity and full court defense. Offensive pace, I'm keeping a little bit in the slow side. Player rotation and player preference right in the middle. See how that works. Seemed like this team worked a little bit better playing a slower pace last season. This is a little bit different of a team. Might play better at a quicker pace. I don't know. As I said, we'll try to adjust as things happen. Only last thing I can think of to review is if you want to look at the new staff. Once again, we hired a completely new coaching staff during the off season. I'm a little bit worried that it might be about the same as last season. We got new head coach Reggie Burleston. Last year we had Vegas Howell and did not do very well. And I signed this guy to a 4-year contract, which I'm kind of thinking I might regret. Maybe I shouldn't have signed him to that long of the contract because he's not a great coach. He's not even really mediocre at anything. So we'll see how it works out, though. You can always, if you click this button right here, I believe the trash can, you can basically always fire him, but we might owe him money if we do that. I'm not sure how that works. But we'll see how this goes. I'm at least going to give him a chance. And that's all I can think of to review before we play this first game against the Americans. Let's look at our depth chart really quick. We got Cullen, Fortson, Ramsey, Barnes, and Bennett starting with McCleary, Richardson, Lopez, and Hargrove coming off the bench. And I think we have like a 25% chance of winning. It said they're an 18-point favorite as we established before we ended the last video. So let's go ahead and play this game. We lost by 10 points, which isn't, terrible. I mean, we lost, but looks like we have an injured player. A little concerned about who is injured. I'm curious as to how Cullen's going to play. Looks like our assist numbers are starting out the same as they did last season, but I'm not too worried about just one game. I'm not going to change anything based off one game. Let's look at the depth chart. Looks like Lopez was injured with sore wrist. Again, I don't want to start two centers. Okay. How did Cullen do? 6 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 steals. How many minutes did he play? 24 minutes. Well, he only took 3 shots, but he hit all 3 of them. So, what's his scoring? His scoring is only a 58. He might not be a top tier scorer. His court IQ is not very high either. He's kind of only fair at passing and ball handling, so I don't know how he's going to work out. I really wish we'd gotten Brandon Sullivan, but we did not, and I did not want to give up a bunch of pieces just to get him. So let's go with this next game against the Moose. We lost. Let's get to the next game. 0-2 so far. But it happens. Not scoring great so far, off to low scoring games for us. Looks like the lineup's about the same. After 2 games, Cullen's 8, 5.5, 2.5, 1.5. Is he still hitting shots? Looks like he missed a few shots in the last game, but he's still shooting 64%. 2 for 3 from 3, so, I mean, he's not taking a lot of shots, but he's hitting the ones he's taking. I mean, I can't be that upset. And here we go against the Irish, who are also 0-2. And even at home, they're still a favorite. That bothers me. Are we that bad? Okay, we won this game, which is great. We also leveled up, which is also great. So two positive things happening there. Let's go ahead and level our coach up. I always click the wrong thing when I want to go to that. Okay. I want to increase player development 1. And let's do offensive knowledge, SIG at time. because it seems like we're struggling more on offense than we are on defense. We did win this last game, so once again, not going to change anything right at this moment. I am curious as to look at the box score of that win. Well, about 16. Aaron Fortson, player of the game with 23 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. Cullen was 8 and 9. Bennett was 13 and 14. Ramsey had 10. Barnes had 13. Cleary had 11 off the bench. Richardson is still, he only gets 9 minutes for us, which is why he's such a good player, and in a way he's being wasted. Maybe I should have traded him for Sullivan, but can't dwell on that forever. All right. Against the Waves, we got 2 injured players. Man, defensively, it's very early on, so these numbers might be a little bit crazy, but we jumped up incredibly in assist numbers last game, and our defense looks good so far. Rebounding's pretty middle of the pack. Still not scoring a lot of points, but I'm okay with not scoring a lot of points if we're winning games. If you're winning games through defense, then I'm fine with that. Like, winning games is the ultimate goal. But it could be that if we continue to struggle, we might need to bump the pace up so that we're attempting to score more. But I'm happy with the defense so far. Did I change? I did not change the depth chart, I don't think. Forgive me. Let's throw this around. I still don't want to start 2 centers. Let's start Hill. We started him a few games last season. Okay, let's go with that right there. And we won this game. 115 to 110. Again, curious about the box score here. McCleary off the bench with 26 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks, and 2 steals. Cullen, man, he's he's just not. He don't shoot a lot. We fouled out for one thing. He had 6 fouls, so he only played 20 minutes. He might have just had some foul trouble, looks like. But 2 points, 6 assists. But he took only 1 shot and made it. His field goal percentage is really good. 6.5, 6.5. Sorry if I become obsessed with how rookies do, but it's something I've always been fascinated by is how good your drafted rookies do. Bennett had 1 point in this game. Evan McCleary come off the bench with 26 points. Look at the morale's good for right now. I want to try to compliment McCleary really quick on that great game. Let me go player meetings. He appreciates it. So far 2-2. I mean, if we can finish a 500 team, it will have at least been an improvement, possibly in the playoffs. Again, though, it's in some ways it's the worst place to be because there's very little chance you'll make it far in the playoffs and you won't get a lottery pick. But if we're improving too. So there's different ways to look at it. Let's check out the depth chart. I think Lopez will be back for this game. Yeah, Herbert is out with a sprained finger, so I'm not too concerned about that. All right, let's play this game. Another win. We actually have a winning record, 3-2, 5 games in. Let's go back a day and look at that box score. Aaron Fortson with 37, 3, and 2 steals. Cullen at 14 points, 11 rebounds. Look at our point guard pulling down 11 rebounds. So Cullen had a good game. Barnes had 19, Clary had 11. I think Fortson's still pretty happy. Last I checked. Yeah, he's still happy. So far, we won 3 games in a row. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, let's look at our depth chart before we play the Roar here. They're pretty good. They're 4-2. Our defense, once again, we're 3rd in the league in defense. So I'm really happy with that. Richardson is out. Wright is out. All right, let's play this game against the Roar. And we lost 3-3. A pretty good team. We're now through October. I want to still play a little bit longer. We're playing against the Peaks now. 3 injured players. And Fortson is out. Man, what's he got? A bruised thigh, 4 days. So nothing major, but he'll miss this game. Maybe Wright is out. We got 2 shooting guards out. I want to start Hooper here, just because I'm OCD. This is what we'll go with. Hooper, I don't think he's even played. He did play 1 game. He's got 2 points so far this year. I know I'm not using the G League. Oh, we lost about 1 point. I know I'm not using the G League, but I'm just never. I don't know. I've never. I like having my players available and utilizing them. Of course, you can always just call them up and put them back down, but I just like having them there and available. To me, it's almost too much to include using the G League. I know it's a real thing that exists, but I don't know. Maybe when we get healthy, I try to send somebody down there, but I'm not. let's see how this team starts out first. Okay. Looks like our defense dropped a little bit. I'm still top third of the league in it though. Now Barnes is out. Actually, we can start right this time. He's a little better than Hooper. Move Lopez up. Let's put Lopez right there. And then do a suggest matrix. Okay, here we go. This is what I'll run with for this next game. All right, here we go. Man, they're terrible. We lost. We only scored 80 points. We need Fortson back desperately. He is back for this game coming up, so I'm happy about that. Eight games in, we're 3-5. Okay, we won this game. Benny had a double-double, 19-15 looks like. Looks like we might be heading toward having like a 500 team, which would be an improvement over last season. Cullen had 16. Benny with 19-15. Fortson, the player of the game again, though, with 24 points. And he is still pretty. Everybody is happy except for Wright and Cullen. What's going on, Cullen? Why are you upset? Well, he likes his team and he likes me. He doesn't really like the new coach. Well, you don't really hate him, but he's kind of so on him. All right, we got one injured player for this game against the Condors. It's still Barnes, so we're gonna keep this the way this is. Play this game, and we won. Back to a 5-5. McCleary with 40 points. Looks like Cullen that suffered an injury though. It flashed at the bottom of the screen, and we have a team incident. Okay, so we're sitting at 5-5. Injury to Cullen, team incident. Let's see what the team incident is first. Uh-oh, Colin Richardson and Aaron Fortson are exchanging tweets. That's not good. What does Cullen's injury look like? Okay, so he's out 8 days with a sprained toe. Could be worse. Cullen and Fortson are both out right now. If Richardson keeps getting in fights with Fortson, I'll trade Richardson. Maybe around Christmas of this year. He's such a good player, but if we can keep McCleary and Bennett, he's kind of wasting away on our bench. I can understand why he's upset too. Let's do this game against the Burn. No, I'm sorry, against the Wasps. No, we lost this game. I feel like when fully healthy, we're not bad. We got the Blues here. Cullen is still out. You want to put Fortson back in, though. I mean, we could try to start Fortson. Or I'm sorry, not Fortson, but Richardson at the 4. But I just don't like playing two centers. Go with this right here. And let's at least simulate this game. Okay. Sometimes the games disappear and you kind of have to re-click this button up here and it'll put it back down there. Okay, and we won, so we're 6-6. And let's go ahead and simulate this day because there's no games on this day. And I might go ahead and stop here on this day against the Twisters, us being 6-6. But before I turn the video off, I want to check the standings, um, see how some things are going. Let's look at the standings. And at 6-6, we're sort of in the ballpark of making the playoffs. Here at the 9th in the West, we would be playing in the playoff to make the playoff if the tournament started today, or the playoffs started today. It's a little bit better than last season so far. I don't want to switch up anything. I will do one minor adjustment. Let's bump the pace up just a little bit. Maybe that will create more scoring opportunities. I don't want to switch offensive or our defense is working great, so I definitely want to switch our defensive philosophy. Our offensive, or I guess our strategy. I don't want to switch our defensive strategy. Our offensive strategy, we're playing balanced right now. I wonder what would happen if we switched and did 7 seconds. I might wait until Cullen comes back. He's still out with that injury. Wait until Cullen comes back. And once he comes back, if our offense is still suffering, I might switch to 7 seconds. That way we're playing really fast offense. Well, not really fast, but we're playing that 7 seconds offense, getting more shots off. That might help our scoring better, keep our defense the same, and that might help. That might help us become a better team with more scoring opportunities. I want to check out our depth chart really quick before turning it off before we go to the next game. We got Herbert, Hooper, and Cullen out. So we'll go with this before the next game. So far, Cullen. I'll click this to make it. He's 9.7 points a game, 5.8 assists, 3.5 rebounds, 1.5 steals. Is how our rookie point guard is performing so far, which is pretty decent. He probably will make. Look at his efficiency though. He shoots well from mid range and from outside. Looks like his field goal percentage is 54, which is really good. His free throw percentage is 84, and his 3-point percentage is 47 if you round it off. So when he takes shots, he makes shots a lot of times. I'm pretty happy with Cullen so far. And he can get a little bit better, not a whole lot better, but he's a pretty solid point guard. He's not going to be an all-star, I don't think. Certainly, though, a capable starter. I'm a little bit um, curious about Sullivan that we tried so hard to get. I'm going to check him really quick. Let's click on Bison because they're the ones that drafted him. How's he faring? So he's averaging 7 points, 4.8 assists, 4 rebounds. Um, I mean, I think Cullen's numbers are a little bit better, but the thing about Sullivan here is, he's already a little bit better than Cullen, and he's even got the extra star potential to be a 3.5 star at some point. And I don't even know if this guy is starting. Is he starting? Yeah, he's starting. He started all 12 games. And he's also shooting well, looks like. 50% from the field, 86% from three. Or I'm sorry, not from three, from the free throw line. And 51% from three, though. Still a great 3-point shooter. So maybe at this point right now, they're pretty even players. Doesn't look like I took too much of a hit, though. Cullen still looks very capable. Only thing I'm concerned about before I turn this video off is the contract for Fortson. I'm especially concerned about because I really want to offer an extension, but he wants 3 years, and I can't give more than 2 years. At least it's told me so far. And if I'm remembering right, I had an experience on one of these games one time where I I offered a contract often enough that a player didn't want that it eventually soured his mood on me. I don't want to do that with Fortson. So maybe I'll wait until the off season. We still got next year with him. Once once the contract runs out this year, maybe that'll allow me to extend that offer that I need to that he wants. I don't want to sour his mood right now, certainly. Anyway, I think that's all I have for this video. So if you enjoyed it, keep coming back. I'll keep making them. I think I might even post one tomorrow and maybe even Sunday. I've got some free time this weekend, so really enjoying this game so far. I like the additions made in this year. I like it looks sleeker. The draft looks better. The draft lottery looks better. And that's all I've got. Until next time.